Hello and good evening, race fans, and welcome to Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large for the 1st of November 2022. This is the 11th round of the championship, appropriately, and it'll be taking place at South City Long with the BMW Sauber F106 as the vehicle of choice. And beside me in commentary today, it's Miika Sarkinen and Peter Butcher. How are you both doing?
Good evening. I'm very fine today. Thanks.
I'm okay. Thanks, sorry. Thanks for asking.
No bother at all. And this is definitely the business end of our championship. There is a potential victory path for our contender, Fragmaster Fatal, to become champion. And we'll explain that in a moment, but we shall review the calendar, how we got to this point first of all. Yeah, so there we go. Perfectly from the beginning of the season in January, we have now reached this stage. It's very much winter time. It's getting chilly for many of us in Europe now. So we now see the variety of cars. We've had the mods included, of course, from February. That was the big debut in RTFR XL. And ever since then, we've alternated. So this month, the decision was to go with the ordinary S2 BF1 car. And that should hopefully mean more familiar competition for our drivers. Challenge that should be well aware of. South City, one of the toughest challenges in Live for Speed. And let's explain the track in greater detail. It has 15 corners. I suppose the very last kink won't be felt in this type of open wheel car. But as we all know, turn one, the downhill left underneath the bridge, it's really, really scary if you get into an unfamiliar territory there. And then the slow sections, the bus stop, turns 5 through 7 there, and then another tight hairpin right at turn 11. So Miika, you would have a very familiar experience with this track. What would you have to say for the drivers today?
Well, let's say the first thing is the walls are very close, so you gotta be very careful today, just avoid the walls. And well, nothing special about this. It's a challenge, I would say.
Yeah,
but it's a challenge I can tell many of here can do pretty well.
Yeah, there'll be 62 laps running after our 1 hour qualifying session comes to an end. So I'll keep the drivers very busy for the next hour plus. Now to describe the vehicle itself, it is of course the 2006 BMW Sauber Formula 1 car. It has the 2.4 litre V8 mid-engine configuration, as was the rules at the time of Formula 1 back then. It produces 720 brake horsepower, and it weighs just over 1,000 pounds there. Fantastic, lightweight car, but so much power even still for that performance. Now we can head over to the circuit and witness the remaining 4 minutes of qualifying. Pole position currently belongs to Sidus Gabor, driving early 90s Ferrari style livery. It's not quite the exact livery, but certainly very close to it. And he's got his teammate behind him who's driving the McLaren Mercedes of the late 90s. So plenty of drivers delivering F1 specific liveries, as well as other teams representing their own colours. So here's Zesty, Master Race Car, improving by 1 position to 20th. He has to slow down straight away. Now heading through Sector 2. This is, it was a Jari Katila. But now we're going to check out Sidus United, currently 16th. That's far below expectations for the team, especially the front row lockout is very much a purple affair. This is last chance territory here. If this one lap doesn't go well, then you've really got to concede it and then get back out on your out laps as soon as possible. Leandro 911 currently holding the 22nd position, but he's tied with Lallarue. But by virtue of setting the time later, I assume that's the tiebreaker secured in favour of Lallarue. But Leandro's be pushing this car to its limits here, having to get through the twisty section there. Now heading uphill left. Now another lovely on board here, braking at 75 meters to get the right corner. Oh, he just held the drift nicely there. And another slap, or tank slapper there, held on very well. Now the final sweeping corner coming up, and now he decides to abandon the lap. So yeah, you have to get straight out onto the track with these 1 minute 50 seconds remaining. Paul Sitter, it's still Gabor here. The 1 minute 13.95 is the only such time inside the 1 minute 13s. Leandro 911 does get out onto the circuit, and don't have to be near the hot lap standards here just to be able to mark a time for this remainder of the session. Here is Zeta Farrell's the Hamuli. Should be clear enough from the threat of traffic. Yeah, I don't see anything immediately. Pablo is currently 7th and will stay there at the minute, and that'll be the last chance coming up now, as long as he got enough fuel in the tank to complete another lap.
I wanted to mention the spread of times we've got here. The top 10 separated by a second. Miika said that this track poses quite a big challenge. He's absolutely correct in saying that, of course. The walls come at you very, very quickly, and to have the top 10 within a second is pretty good margins around here.
Yeah, that's certainly true, Pete. Yeah, very, very close. Time differentials from certainly second place down. It just feels like Gabor has found an extra 10% or so over the competition. And see Pablo here in 7th is really, really I'm sure he's confident he can gain 1 or 2 more positions with this final lap time. Just got to watch out on the outside line for a slow car. Oh, that was close to the wall. Really committed there by Pablo, using that inside curve very well. Now 100% full throttle coming up. It's just slightly behind his best of the session, and he will have to be settled for no more than 7th place.
The ball has just started a lap. He was one of the final cars to do so, and he's absolutely gunning for it. Misses the infamous red and white striped tyre wall on the end of the uphill section. Very easy to sling the car into there, especially the BF1. And now he's going to send it through the chicane and onto the back straight. He's got a bit of traffic, and it's going to get in his way, and it's going to ruin his lap. So his final attempt will not be an improvement.
That's really unfortunate. It was a definite strong lap time, just the way the cookie crumbled, I'm afraid. Michael, for a Master Race car, be hoping to get into the top 20. They have to find a huge amount of lap time compared to what he's done so far. We'll see if he can manage it heading towards the dash to the line. And no, it's not an improvement in group position, I'm afraid.
Last few cars coming through now. Luca aborting his final run there, and I think it's just Pablo. No, Pablo missed the timing line. Pablo did not get across in time. So as far as I know, that is everything, Owen.
Yeah, that must be it. Yeah, we'll summarize qualifying for you right now. Yeah, and there you go. Gabor clinched the pole position, making it a really impressive showing here compared to the rest of the drivers. 1 minute 13.95 was sufficient, and his teammate Sidus Rick Hardle will be providing the threat to him in the run down to turn 1 and beyond. But for the rest of the grid, Fragmaster number there, very good time in 3rd. Naloyuka has occupied 4th place there, and then Rags, Yerloco, Pablo, Fatal, T-Bug, and Nando Alonso are the top 10. Antonio, Lorenzo, Dehimuli, Pekka Koivunen, Sidus Unite, Timu Soini, Kig, Rony, Jari Katila, and Zesty are going to be our top 20. And then we have 6 more drivers who will be eligible to race. They are Leandro 911, Lallarue, Owner, Michael, Doctor, and Genius G.
Awesome stuff. I think we can go straight on to talk about what's happening in the championship. Owen, you mentioned before we began the action that there is a championship fight that's going to be could potentially be decided tonight.
That's correct. Yeah, Fragmaster Fatal has a lead of nearly 50 points, so top 15 according to Rony's calculations is enough to deny Rick Hardle regardless of what he can do. But based off the grid, it's definitely Rick Hardle should be full of belief that he can keep this championship going to the very end. Otherwise, it's Sidus Unite downwards that cannot win this championship unless something extraordinary happens. So we'll just have to see the rest of the drivers competing for the best of the rest. And we'll be queuing up the remaining names that have taken part in a RTF4 XL session and were eligible for points. I believe the list ends at 77. So if your name is going to appear, then look forward to the shine, and hope to see you again soon if you're not here tonight.
Yeah, it's impressive that Fatal has managed to get enough of a gap to potentially win with 1 round to go. He's had a brilliant year though, and if there was a round that could cause some headache for him, it's going to be tonight with the BF1, the fastest car in the stock LFS arsenal, at one of the trickiest tracks for it. We're going to see some incidents and accidents. I think it's fair to say. Miika, you're probably going to be you're probably going to be right.
Yeah, and now with this intermission between qualifying and the race, let's take a moment to bring to you a Aston 6 Hours trailer. The event is coming up very soon. Looking forward to it. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the trailer. Pete has some additional information for anyone who is still interested in signing up for the 6 Hours of Aston, presented by Argentinos Turismo.
Yeah, absolutely. You can sign up with the QR code that just flashed across your screen if you can rewind your live stream, or you can head to the Live for Speed forum, go to the events section and find the 6 Hours of Aston thread. As you mentioned, Owen, it's being hosted by the Argentina Turismo team, the second of such endurance races this year, with the LMP2, the Le Mans prototype car in LFS, or the Prototype 2 mod as it's known. And yeah, this will be happening on Sunday, the 13th of November, which is not this weekend coming, it's the weekend after. So it's creeping up, and coverage here will start. The action will start at 12 o'clock midday UTC on Twitch and YouTube. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and find that live stream, and you will be notified when we go live for that event. So it should be a good one. We've got plenty of teams signed up, but there's still time left to get your teams in. It's going to be an awesome event. You don't want to miss it. And if you do, unfortunately, not get an entry in time, then just sit back and enjoy the live stream. Owen, back to you.
Thank you, Pete. So yeah, we look forward to the following hour and a bit of action. Certainly keep us excited for that big 6 hours race. Argentina Turismo, so I got it slightly wrong with the team name, so I apologize for that. But yeah, this is the grand opportunity to see F1 style cars, if that's your thing. It certainly is for me. So I'm ready and willing to see what is in store. I suppose the favourites of the race usually is a driver representing Sidus. They have got the pedigree to deliver wins more often than not. But yeah, Fatal will have the opportunity to become champion with a really strong result. So yeah, the run down to turn 1 and then turn 2, such a variety of corners that'll test the drivers after their standing start. As we remember, the mandatory pit stop will play a tactical factor into everyone's proceedings. But yeah, I suppose the best way to make your strategy, just make sure you get through turns 1 and 2 and then follow your plan and see where it goes.
Yeah, we need to talk about that grid, because Fatal, even though he only needs a top, what was it? You said top 15, I think you said.
Yeah, top
in order
15.
to wrap it up. That he's starting in P8, which is basically exactly the place you don't want to start on the grid in the BF1, because he's halfway in the middle of the pack. He's going to have all sorts of drama to contend with, and this is a long race. Remember, very, very difficult to regain time at South City when you lose it, because, well, you've got all the tight and twisty single file sections. You've also got the straights, of course, to get slipstream, but it's not easy to get past even then, because this track is bumpy. It's not that wide. The corners come so fast that it might end up being a bit of a parade, and drivers might not be able to get past as easily. So Fatal has got everything to do with Rick Cardle right there next to his teammate Gabor.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that sentiment. We can rule out turns 8, 9 and 10 as realistic overtaking opportunity. It's really the hard-braking zones of 11, 14 and 2 that will be the most common places for overtaking. But I'm sure there are a few daring opportunities available to anyone who wants to take them. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to the race start coming up very soon. The order from above will be coming along shortly, so just gotta hang on in there for a little bit longer. The excitement is definitely building here.
Yeah, not forgetting, of course, the 10-second mandatory pit stop, which always causes some drama. Some drivers that you think would have this absolutely nailed, they make some errors, and it gives us a little bit of a mix-up. Fatal can't afford any mix-ups today. Rick Cardle likewise cannot afford any mix-ups today, so we'll be keeping a special eye on those two. Unite with an outside chance of the championship, very, very outside. It's starting P15, so we'll have to see. Let's go to the grid, Owen, and get this race underway. Can't wait.
Yeah, perfect timing. There is yes, there we go. Just in time, Rick Cardle occupies that space that he earned in qualifying. So on the left-hand side of the grid, Sidus Gabor. Well, from the driver's left, it'll be Gabor. And then Rick Cardle has jumped it. Jump start for Rick Cardle. He's completely messed it up. and that'll mean he has to compromise his start a bit more. And there's chaos in the back. I've seen cars flying, and maybe that was just a bit of lag, but now it seems that it's Nando Alonso in trouble. Now the run down to turn 2. Number takes the lead. Cardle is in big bother, and is that the end of his proceedings, guys?
It is. He's
my
rejoined,
word.
and that's it. That might be it, over. Well, we thought that it might be Fatal that got caught up in incident, but straight away, Rick Cardle with an absolute nightmare there. Somehow, Zdravko Polniak's managed to get in the lead. I didn't see quite how that happened, but on the camera we saw a blue car, I think it was Pablo, was it, going very, very sideways and collected Rick Cardle. And that is that. Fatal was made one position. Here he is, just coming up to the hairpin. Bit of contact with who was that? That's T-Bug.
T-Bug.
Yeah, he is one lucky boy. But you know, the name of the game sometimes is just to keep out of trouble. So what can Fatal do from here?
Well, he'll have to probably compare his lap times to his teammate where possible. This is actually Rony who has a defending to do against Team Soini. Soini goes high, and Nalo Luco is slow, and that's compromised his exit out of the corner. Must have been a bit of contact. Yeah, contact with his teammate Antonio. But yeah, we carry on. There's no immediate worry for the drivers to just manage to avoid the slowed board to race car, and we carry on. But there's more battling and contact at turn 2. That was Koivunen, I think, who had a spot of bother there. And there's 2 wide heading into the 3rd corner, and this is really, really precarious. You can see one of the world-class lines, I think, has to slow it down to avoid a concertina effect. And yeah, that's Team Sony who has to give up more positions. I suppose he just wants to stay out of trouble.
Absolutely massive shake-up. Fragmaster's Fatal here, championship leader. His main rival is in P20 now after starting on the front row. Dream scenario so far up to P5, 3 places gained. He's got past T-Bug. Now he's got to focus on Antonio in the Ferrari livery up ahead. But the gap to Number and Gabor ahead is growing quite quickly. 5 seconds almost already, and we've only done 2 laps.
Yes, and I've just spotted on the leaderboard, Rick Cardle has decided to rejoin.
Yep.
He has completed 2 laps, like well, he will be 3 laps like the leaders soon, so he's not going to be isolated by any stretch of the imagination. So there's no popping of the corks for Fragmaster just yet.
No, this would be the comeback to end all comebacks. Now, this is not a short race, and yeah, Rick Cardle managed to do all of 1 corner before retiring and instantly rejoining. But I have seen stranger things happen. He has the advantage of a completely clear track right now, but that advantage is going to go away because Rick Cardle, as we know, he has pace. He's going to catch someone eventually, and at that point, that's when his potential advantage is going to be unwritten. But here we go, Rony having a go on the inside. Potentially no, well, bit of a gaggle behind him.
Yeah, T-Bug did a very good job in qualifying, but now the chain of cars behind him really ramps up the pressure. Oh, he's getting close to the wall there. We didn't see it from that angle, but certainly T-Bug was hugging the inside as much as he could, and then the turn back out onto the motorway meant that was a very gut-wrenching move there. He just had to make sure he didn't weave into Rony's path and cause an almighty shunt. But now side by side, it's turn 1, the wheels banging. Oh, Rony stays committed, but T-Bug has defended very astutely, it has to be said, and Leandro 911 will like to put pressure on Rony here for position.
That was as close as it possibly could have been before tears happened, and Rony's going to go for a Ricardo, is he? Oh, he's well, a little bit. He spooked T-Bug into the wall, and now he's going to come a cropper from Leandro, who goes for a big send, and that's a good move. Spin behind.
Spinner, the Hamuli, but he caught it before it went 180 on him. So he resumes in 12th place, guys.
Oh, unbelievable stuff. Absolute chaos, as we expected. And we're down to 24 drivers. Pablo, funnily enough, is the driver with the fastest lap. He was the car that came into contact with Rick Cardle at the beginning, and is now, well, behind.
Yes, that's just the way the ball is bounced. Nando Alonso was in shot of Pablo there, so they'll be battling away. Let's see what Fatal can do here against Antonio. He has slipstream. He's going to merge to the outside, and he's well clear. Antonio doesn't want to battle unnecessarily there. He'll plan a counter-attack. Yeah, Fatal has got a good grasp of the corners now, and we'll just see Antonio following along. Yeah, so Reigs in third place here. Solid performance here. It's just the battle for the lead is going to hot up now. Number versus Gabor, two very familiar names across the world of Live for Speed. Yeah, lovely onboard shot here with Gabor. It's an unfortunate case. I think the slower section suited Number a bit better. Then we will be having a chase for the top speed. We'll try and get comparison. I think it's a little bit an advantage for Number again here. Yeah, late on the brakes for Gabor. He's going to close up, and then they pull away again.
Yeah, that was impressive. Number's doing just enough to keep Gabor out of the slipstream, but Gabor's been catching him over the last lap. Let's see as they come across the line. The gap is it's coming down gradually, so we'll keep an eye on this, because this is where the points go, obviously, and the gap to Fatal is up now to 6 seconds with these two. So Fatal has space. He has 3 seconds to catch up to Rakes, who's doing, as you mentioned, a good job there for Furtive Junior. But what's it going to take for Gabor to get past? Bit of insider knowledge, I guess. These two are going to be teammates for the upcoming Aston 6 Hour, so watch this space, folks. This is what you're up against.
Huge battle for 11th place down. We've got T-Bug, the Hamuli, Unite, Kig and Zesty all in a line through the bus stop. The pressure really mounting on T-Bug here. He's doing everything he can to keep the car pointing the way it should be, but these enormous speeds in such narrow confines, it just means that sort of bumping is inevitable. P11 now belongs to Hamuli. You'll see if T-Bug can have a bit of slipstream. He's gonna probably, his preference is really to hook that inside line and then come back out before the walls take away the overpass on the. Oh, that's a huge dive bomb!
That is
T-Bug.
Unbelievable.
Oh, I don't know if that should be valid. That is a really risky move, and it spooked the Hamuli. Didn't get the turn in he would have liked. I think that's going to be a swap. Yes, that's fair.
Yeah, okay, he's given the place back. Yes. I'm not sure that's going to be. I'm not sure that's going to be. Oh, he's going straight back for the move. So he's going to have that place straight back. Goes too deep, and 2 more people get past him. Potentially 3, as it looks like Zesty's going to try and go around the outside. Oh, goodness me! I mean, T-Bug was right to give the place back, but now he's lost 4 places extra as a result. Unbelievable. Owner, the Turkish driver, has come into the pit lane and will be repairing damage. So that's going to be a lengthy stop. There he goes. So down to P24 and last for him. And the battle up ahead is down to half a second, back up to half a second, in fact. So Number able to eke out just a couple of hundredths, enough to just manage to break the slipstream of Gabor. But these two are going to be on the absolute limit. This is, for them, this is a training session. And they're just showing everyone else what is up.
Oh, and just as we return,
for
go ahead.
Position 10, the Hamily goes inside past Koivunen, and Unite gets at the same time as well. And now they're 2 wide going to the main straight. And are they going to yield for the turn 1? I guess there will be one of them. Well,
Unite has advantage. He's going to oversteer. Oh, he held it though.
Wow, Koivunen massively outbraked himself. He's managed to lose a position to Kig because of that. Kig was nowhere near these guys, and Koivunen was so late on the brakes that he had to almost go into the escape road to give himself enough room to turn around. And that's Kig up to P12. But Thamuli and Unite, what a battle we've got here. Thamuli still hanging on. The Sidus car of Unite only making up 4 positions so far in this race, from P15 to P11. As we head down to the hairpin for the 8th time already. We've had a few more pit stops, and drivers just getting their stop out of the way fairly early in this race. Owner has retired after his pit stop, and T-Bug got a drive-through doing his and has also left the race. So T-Bug and Owner retiring after their stops.
Guess we're not gonna see pit stops anytime soon, since it's gonna burn a whole lot of fuel. So the estimated total amount of fuel used is 180%. So it's almost 2 full tanks. So,
wow, that is a lot.
Yeah, that. Don't know if there's any like little strategy you can pull out with how much you have for the start and how much you will fill in. But we'll see how that goes.
Well, roughly halfway through the race, I'd say, would be the ultimate strategy. Gabor's got the lead. We missed an overtake. It must have been pretty much an error from Number, because, well, yes, in fact, look at the front. Is there some damage on the front wing? Yes, there is. Front left damage on Number's car, as far as I can tell. And, well, there must have been an error because Gabor has overcome quite a big gap. But now Number has a chance, maybe a sniff to go around. He's going around the outside. This is risky, but he has a nose ahead and pulls in front. And what a move back. So doesn't matter. He made an error, but he's got the place back.
Yeah, I'll have to see how much it cost him. It was about a second out of his personal best, so it was a very small mistake, but it was enough for Gabor to fully capitalize on until that switch back on the start-finish straight. But we'll see another example, the Mooley and Unite. I think they'll be separated enough. I think Rick Hardle is making huge progress now. He's 14th, having just overtaken the 3rd world-class Lions
just
in a row.
behind Unite. There's only 2 cars between him, Kig and Zesty. This is really impressive from Rick. Unbelievable. His return to the pit lane after at the apex of turn 2.
Yeah, and Zesty will be within less than 1 second, I'd say, the next 30 seconds or so. It's going to be elementary move here if Zesty cannot match Cardle's pace at the moment. Then again, Kig not too far away, so it may just be a case the standard set by 1 increases the other and increases the other, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, look at the overspeed that Rick Cardle had out of there. He's got a sniff of slipstream. It's not going to be enough to affect the pass this time round, but he's going to have to go mighty late on the brakes. Oh, Zesty gets the... Oh, my goodness me. Rick just drives around the outside. Zesty gets it all crossed up at the apex, and that is just the talent of Rick. He just straight around the outside, crushes his hands and moves on to the next one. Meanwhile, at the bus stop, we've got Fatal right behind the furtive junior car of Riggs, who's been holding on to P3 for most of the race so far, but now has been caught by Fatal. Fatal up from P8 at the start, and this will be a podium if you can get it through and hold the position to the end. But yeah, let's keep an eye on all these battles that are going on. We've got Number, who is only 0.3 of a second ahead of Gabor. Fatal 0.3 of a second behind Riggs. And Rick Cardle flying through the field.
Yeah, it's definitely something that'll be on Fatal's mind as he does make the move official into P3. There's no time to relax, I'm afraid, especially if he gets the intel about Rick's progress. Yeah, he should be settled now. Kig is 1.5 seconds clear of Rick at the moment. We'll see Kig on the rundown to the final hairpin before the rundown to start finish. And after that, it'll be a very impressive top 10 for Rick if he can find his way past the Hibmouli, who has about 3.4 seconds. Yes, not very much at all.
Yeah, the gap to Kid goes down once again as we lose someone. Who did we just lose
It's
there?
Antonio.
Antonio. So made some progress at the beginning of the race, but now deciding to retire. As we ride on board with Rick Cardle as we watch him thread this car through the streets, and I think thread is the best word to use because of the speed of this car. It is like tunnel vision, literally, in this car. You have to be so careful with everything, and still the tents come out of Kig as we head down to the hairpin once again. And well, there is the situation. There are cars bunching up ahead, and we've got Lorenzo there, we've got Unite there, Rick's teammate, as well as some back markers. So it's all going to come. It's all going to become spicy soon.
And I love the onboard shot there, Rick. All that work he has put into the steering wheel. Really impressive to look at, especially at turn 11 hairpins. Lorenzo, unfortunately, has parked it on the outside sequence of the hairpin, but now we'll see Unite on the outside of the Amelia. That was close.
That was close.
Oh, really narrow entry point there for Unite, but he's not quite clear. Oh, as fair as he can get there, but now into turn 3. Another pinch point there. Still no concession. Now Unite decides.
This is great. This is absolutely brilliant racing. Unite and Thamuli leaving each other just enough room, but Unite still not able to get through. This is what we want to see. Clean racing in the BF1. It's possible, as demonstrated by these two. Problem with clean racing sometimes is that it's slow, and that's allowing Kig to close the gap back up.
Yeah, we were talking how with this car on this track the walls come by very quickly, and when you go too wide, it's like the double the fun. So it's just so awesome how these guys can keep it like so clean, like for so long, like at the same time going.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep an eye on Unite as we head to the hairpin and see if he can get a slipstream. No, again, Thamuli doing an absolutely mega job to keep Unite behind him. And as we head on to these guys will be heading on to lap 14 now. Unite, he's got to find a way through because he's going to start getting a little bit frustrated, I think, that he can't close up. He'll be very well aware that his teammate, Rick Cardle, is only 2 seconds behind.
Yeah, we've just seen a pit stop for Rags, a change of tyres and a refuel for 12 seconds in the stop. He's going to come out in 14th. Yes, that's comprehensive enough. 14th for him.
Well, that's a strange one. I mean, this is going to be a 2-stop for him then, because Miika, as Miika mentioned, it's at least, well, pretty much 2 tanks of fuel. And well, my maths isn't fantastic, but even I can work out that he's going to need to stop another time at least.
Yeah, if that's what he's comfortable doing, then by all means do it. But I would certainly vouch one stopper should be the way to go if you can keep your tires fresh. It makes a lot of sense with these tight confines, because if you're stuck in traffic, you can see that the standard set by the Hamuli and Unite, even if they can get close and side by side, they're just going to delay each other. So if you get stuck behind a car that is your equal, then you're costing yourself a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a joy to see the BF1 being chucked around the streets of South City. We haven't seen the BF1 on our screens for a while. I think the last time was during the BF1 League, or maybe we've had a round or two of RTFR with it this season. But you know, it's good to see some pickup racing action in the BF1 as we see Leandro tag the wall. That's not the fastest way around this track, mate. But anyway, he's on his way. He's fine for now.
Oh, another tag of the wall.
Unite's had a problem.
I think spun there.
Yeah, he spun. Wow.
Oh, yeah, rear left has cosmetic damage, so that's a bad moment there, I'm afraid, for Unite. But it's nothing substantial, so we'll just carry on knowing that he's lost those positions. Lallaroo takes to the pit. He's occupying 20th and last of the remaining runners. He is now, he's definitely a lap down. He's taken on tire change and fresh fuel as well.
Number and Gabor are being outpaced again by Pablo. Pablo sets the fastest lap of the race, but he's all the way down in P13 after the first lap drama. In fact, it's not really fair to say first lap. It was pretty much on the first straight on the run down to turn 1 and then turn 2 where the contact happened. But yeah, he's setting the timing screens alight, so there's certainly pace still in that car.
And he decides to pit. Yes, so Pablo pits.
So again, another potentially 2-stop strategy for him, as he comes in the pits on lap 16, or 15 for him, very early.
Yeah, I think some drivers just feeling the need to change tyres. Everyone that I've noticed has made that switch and will be doing so again, as it'd be very unlikely to keep these tyres going another 50 laps.
There was some discussing during the qualifying if like one set of tires will be enough, but I mean if it's even 2 sets, then you should be able to do it with the one speed stop anyway.
Yeah, but the problem with that, I guess, is that the heat cycle won't be over, so you might not want to get rid of your nice warm tyres halfway through the race. So the drivers might be forced into a late second stop for those that decide to pit around the halfway mark. We'll have to see. Like this race opens up to a lot of strategy, as we see there. The P13 runner Nando Alonso getting very sideways at the apex, and Riggs, who has done his pit stop, is going to say, "Oh, come here, give me some slipstream," and try and make some time on him. Not enough just yet. And then he'll have to sit behind that car through the lower corners.
Yeah, it's time to sort of take a breath and be patient. There is, a huge benefit to getting past the car that's off strategy to you. But if you take the wrong moment, then you've ruined your race and your opponents as well. But here we are, the chain has rejoined here. Kig with the Sidus duo going to be piling on the pressure that he probably wouldn't have expected at this portion of the race. He's lost trace of the Himuli at the moment, so this is going to be a real challenge to see what Kig decides to do with his defense.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got Rick's got Unite behind, who you shouldn't really be worrying about, because Unite will be aware that this is kind of this is his teammates' chance. But Kig won't care. Kig will defend every move he can. Unite might go for the move here. He does. Sends one up the inside there of turn number 1, and he's through. So, well, scratch what I just said. It's gloves off at Sidus.
Yeah, I wouldn't have anticipated that move either. There might be a little bit of a plan B, I suppose, that might work out here. But Kig, a little bit high out of the bus stop exit. He's really good on the throttle applications, getting a good getaway when he needs it the most. Now for the hairpin right. Oh no, he's been tagged, but yeah, there you go. It's a straight spot. Yeah, Kig wobbled and got tagged innocently enough. Yeah, that was understood. No malicious play there. And now Rick gets his spot back.
We have seen some questionable moves and questionable strategies this year, but nothing compares to that. It wasn't deliberate, but imagine if that was.
Yeah, that'll be definitely brought up in the chat. We of course welcome you along if you've joined in after our lights out, and we'll see if Rick's progress can continue. So Unite won't be trying the same trick again. Kig into the curbing there, nearly into the wall, and that's gonna concertina Rick into a bit more pressure. But now here's the inside line. Is it open? It is. Position gain for one, and how about the other? No,
not quite. Unite makes it difficult for himself. He goes around the outside, switch back. It's not going to work here. You don't want to be too wide through that corner either. He's now in the dirty air through one of the highest downforce left-handers as Pekka Koivunen hits the pit lane. And Unite, oh goodness me, locking up ever so slightly, sticks his nose up the inside. No contact this time round, but Rick Cardle absolutely disappeared now.
Yeah, that's huge for Cardle's climb back to the mountaintop. Koivunen's been given a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Wow, the pit lane is absolutely is picking off victims today.
Yeah, that's going to have to be served pretty swiftly. And I suppose the worst that happened to Pekka is just he gets closed down by Lalaru, who is still plugging away as best he can. But I don't think Koivunen is within the reach of the driver in 20th at the moment. The lead battle has resumed at some capacity with just about 0.6 of a second separating the two cars.
Yeah, these two are pushing each other so hard, Owen. The lead battle actually never went away. They're feeding off each other's energy here. This is really, really intense because you can see that because the gap back to Fatal, who had the fastest lap, now taken away by Gabor, is up to 10 seconds. That's a non-trivial gap at South City, and Gabor now with the advantage.
Yeah, it's exceptional to see when the two lead cars are made to rise their own standards, being able to see each other and still being respectful. It's the pinnacle of sim racing, I must confess. It's great to see it.
Leandro's been in the pits. It's short. You have to serve at least 10 seconds throughout the race, but he hasn't stayed in the pits for that long, so he'll have to be in again, no doubt.
Oh, the Hamuli does get by, and Gabor
Gabor
gets by, spotted by our cameras. I was looking away there. So there we go, another swap between these two fine drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Gabor takes the lead in a flash of a move, blink and you miss it kind of thing. And now he is free to see what he can do with the pace that he's suddenly unleashed in this car. Fastest lap and already a margin over his rival and teammate in the A6H. But now everything's going to change because they're coming up on traffic, so Gabor has to make quick work. That's a good move out of the way for said backmarker. Michael Malik knows exactly what he's doing as Fatal reclaims that fastest lap, and also down to 9 seconds now, so Fatal turning the screws, apologies. Apparently, Number has some suspension trouble. We'll have to get confirmation on that, but yeah, it looks like the gap is going up and up and up. So potentially some issue. He's been in a wall potentially, or something, because he's got some suspension issues on that car. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Not game ending yet.
Another fastest lap for Gabor. It could mean that Number does have to consolidate his position for the moment. With more lap traffic though, I have seen 3 cars in the horizon. One of them was Timu Soini, he's out of the way. Yaroloco and Jari Katila want to compete for position, so they'll have to be made very wary of these blue flags, and they have been confirmed on their game screen. So I think Yaroloco will probably use the hairpin as a pinch point that he can move out of the way. No, he doesn't want to relent. He's using the same skin as Gabor, so just try and bear that in mind. You can see 2 identical Ferrari style cars, and now this is Yaroloco on the inside on board here with Gabor. So Yaroloco takes this moment to pull in front of the World Class Lions car, and there we go. Yari decides it's the right time to merge and then get the slipstream, a little bit of slipstream off Number, and then these blue flags will have to kick in for Yaroloco.
Yeah, Gabor easily through. Look at that, so much overspeed. It's unreal in the slipstream. But yeah, the gap to Number is now going to go up because Number's going to have to be wary of Yaroloco. Again, hampered slightly at the apex. Yaroloco gets on the anchors. That's going to be tricky with Jari Katila. but no issue really there.
Supposed to give Vio Loco a bit of credit. He's got his own name on the logo of that car, so they're not identical, but pretty much similar. Similar as you can get, really.
Do a quick run through. On lap 24, leads with the fastest lap ahead of Number, now 1.3 seconds behind, thanks to traffic and a little bit, we think, some damage that is manifesting itself on that car. Then it's Fatal, who is our championship leader and looking set, as it currently stands, to take the RTFR title this year, the extra large title, that is. That's our podium as it currently stands. Then it's Rony, 16 seconds. Can you read that? 16 seconds back from Fatal. The void is quite remarkable. Nala Luca then in P5 for Born to Race. The Mooley P6 for ZFRL. Then it's Rick Cardle, who is recovered to 7th. Okay, yes, some cars around him have already made pit stops, and Rick hasn't yet. But he was in the pit lane. He was in his garage, while all the rest of the field were around turn 3 and turn 4 at the start of the race. So a good recovery. But still plenty of work to do if Rick Cardle has any chance whatsoever of keeping the 2022 RTFR XL title alive.
Yeah, it's a very appreciated rundown. And Unite has overtaken Leandro. Leandro actually needed to use the pit lane, so it made sense. Oh, he couldn't slow down in time.
Pit lane takes another
slam
victim.
dunk. Yes, it was a slam dunk. He was slowing down as best he could, but it was not enough to meet the speed limit. So I suppose he may as well, take the damage, repair. That's a good idea.
I don't much like Halloween, but for next year, I think I'm going to dress as the South City pit lane.
That'll cause a few jump scares for sure.
Well, especially amongst this crowd.
Yeah.
Gabor adds another fastest lap to his tally. That is another few tenths that he's pulled out over Number. Number has dropped off a cliff here, not literally, obviously, but he is having some trouble now keeping up. But still, credit where it's due. Fatal has not managed to close up either. And they're still pretty much gapping him. So, well, Fatal is in traffic. But, struggling a little bit with the pace of the front two. 9.99 seconds there, you can see on the bottom right. That is the gap between him and Number.
Fatal.
To get through.
Yeah, exactly. Should be handy enough. Yari, we saw, was able to pull off the racing line at this final hairpin coming up. So I imagine he's going to do it again. Yes, spot on. He's got to be wary of Nando Alonso, though. That's for position. Nando Alonso. Oh, that was a big bump. He decided to go off the usual route around the final corner. Yeah, Nando Alonso definitely pitted, but Yari has not. So Number has taken the pits, actually. There you go.
10.2 seconds, that will be good, and that looks like he's still going to go for a one-stop strategy. The pit window for a one-stop strategy is open, and Number has come in just as that happened, so I think he would have brimmed the tank if I'm not mistaken, but he's absolutely nailed the pit stop time. So let's see what happens over the next half of the race for him. He's come out in P4, just behind Rony, has he? Well, he's got quite a gap, actually. Maybe some back markers smattered around somewhere, but a good stop. And crucially, it looks like Number is on strategy. He's going for the one stop.
Yeah, using the track map I have on my screen, there's a lovely gap. There are about 5 cars on the penultimate straight, and it's just Rony and Number coming up, so that's a really healthy gap. And that will definitely give Number food for thought on his journey.
Strategy hats on again. Gabor light on fuel no extra weight in the car whatsoever, has already pulled out one extra lap over number. That means that his laps over, well, this lap and the previous lap are guaranteed to be so much faster than number. So how many more laps can Gabor go on this tank before he decides to come in the pit lane and refuel? That will determine how far ahead he'll be when he does.
Yeah, and Zesty has completed a pit stop and he lets number through for blue flags, and Rony has come into the pits. Will he just need refuel? Yes, spot on, 10.47.
Good effort on the pit stops, so no fancy dress comments needed. And Gabor coming up against some traffic. That's a world-class Lions car. As far as I know, that's Pekka Koivunen, I think it is.
Yeah, Koivunen is 19th. We have had a car retire. Yeah, I forget the name, unfortunately. I know who it is, I just can't put my tongue on the name. Yeah, that's 19 cars remaining, and Koivunen is the last of those. Yeah, there was Lallarue, yes.
Yeah, Lallarue was the previous car to retire, but Gabor made quick work of that. Hold him up a little bit, I think. But yet another lap that he's doing on top of the laps he's already done. We're now on lap 29, so not quite halfway through. Depends what Gabor's going to do. If he started the race with a full tank, then he can go just over the halfway mark before pitting. Otherwise, we expect everybody pretty much to come in before halfway. So we will see. Keep an eye on it. See when he comes in. It's going to be crucial. Fatal promoted to P2 only because number is now out of sequence with him a little bit. But, you know, Fatal with some clear air now needs to put the hammer down and try and bring this gap down. It's not working though. 13.5 seconds. Car going slowly. Very damaged car going slowly there. Who was that? Looks like it was Ray. So P3 at the beginning. So it's possible he's had he has definitely had an incident with another car there. Chris and Maria suggests it might be Yara Loco, although we might need a fact checker on that as he comes into the pit lane again.
That's devastating for our Regs. He was running extremely well, and he would have wanted the two-stopper to work for him, but yeah, at best he'll have to abandon the planned pit stop and just use this one to get himself to the finish, hopefully.
Yep, and well, yet another lap on the cards for Gabor. Here it goes through the hairpin. Now on lap 30.
Ricardo's got up to Harmon and is having a go on inside. And and he's slid into the wall.
Great
They're
spot,
fighting
Miika,
for P5 right now, but they haven't pitted either of them. So
Yeah,
I wonder where they're going to end up.
That was a big miss that for Rick. A good attempt, but it didn't quite go wrong. It didn't quite go right. Hearing from Chris, he's been through the replay. It was Yaroloco that drove into the back of Riggs. Yaroloco claiming a victim there.
Oh yeah, massive moments in Ricardo's day after what happened to him on the first lap. If that spin had have completed, it would have been a really dangerous spot for him. He'd have to have done a donut after his teammate Unite would have overtaken him. Pit stops coming again. Let's see.
Thamuli able to defend from these siders cars. This is a good effort. We saw it with Unite for a long time, and now it's Rick Cardle who can't get past. Side by side across start finish, neck and neck. On the outside is Rick Cardle. Thamuli's still there, but Rick, oh goodness me, no margin of error at all, and he is through just.
Yeah, Thamuli doesn't want to concede without a last-ditch attempt, but yeah, I think now we'll see the class of Ricardo paying off, and yeah, he's going to pull away here, and that's the end of that for the moment. But we Unite coming in the chase as well. You just see his his car coming through yet, so that should keep the Hamuli very busy, and he shouldn't lose confidence by any means.
Absolutely not. 19 cars remaining, headed up by Gabor, who still hasn't been in the pit lane. 2 laps more since we last checked up on him, and that is now well over halfway in the race. So you can only assume that he's put a lot of fuel in that car, more than 90% fuel. So how many more laps is he going to eke out before he comes in the pit lane? Fatal P2 with some traffic in the form of Yaroloco ahead of him. And Number, the other Fragmaster's car, currently in P3. Both those guys have stopped. Sorry, Fatal hasn't stopped. Number has stopped. Nanaluka's up to something. Right behind Number. And on pace, of course, Nanaluka hasn't been in the pit lane, so the lights on fuel. Oh, goodness me, that was too close. And he's going for the move. Number has been shoved. Oh, this is not what you want to see. Obviously, a car heavy on fuel, battling with a car light
Fatal
on fuel.
pits. Fatal takes the pit lane. This should be a standard one stopper for him. Yeah, refuel job done. Yeah, pit stop as well for Jari Katila. Yeah, we saw there Naloi Luca using all of that pressure while he has a chance on Number, paid off, and Number would have lost about 4 seconds on his best lap time of the race. So yeah, I'd be really frustrated with that. But if it's any consolation, Zesty behind is running 13th and a lap down, so that's a little bit of a buffer for him.
Yeah, Number will not be happy about that incident with Nanaluka, and normally be happy with the fact that Rick Cardle is chasing him down now, only 6 seconds behind. Unite's just pitted, and once again setting a very, very fast pit stop time, 10.06. He likes to do his quick pit stops, does Unite, and once again he's proving that he's got his pit stops down to a T. Pekka Koivunen is having a bad day. In fact, this looks like it might be a retirement or something.
That's blue flags anyway.
Yeah, he's just trundling around.
He's really struggling.
Giving a lot of time away.
He's out of fuel.
He's out of fuel. He's run out of fuel.
Oh no, that's unlucky.
I mean, that's a big miscalculation. Oh no.
He's still moving. Okay.
Well, he must know he has to pit now, but it's very confusing to give up. Yeah, he's crawling.
Yeah. Just on the fumes.
Oh, so we thought he'd run out, but actually he's just barely made it to the pit lane. Well, one way to do it. And Gabor pits.
Rick is
on
there.
lap 34. Into the pit lane comes Gabor. He picks the first pit box there, Owen.
Yeah, appropriately so. Yeah, Rick will have a long way to go. You kind of put into context just how much of a lead Gabor has. Fatal is still negotiating the turn up to the final hairpin, so a huge lead for Gabor here. That will send him a huge boost of approval for himself there.
That is absolutely unbelievable, the amount of gap that he has managed to open up there. Quite remarkable. We'll get an update of the actual gap between Gabor and Number. Those two were pretty much glued together when Number came in the pits. We'll get that update when he crosses a timing line. But that is absolutely
25.96.
stunning. Yeah, 30 seconds to Number.
Michael's backwards. Michael facing backwards. He had Fatal coming up behind him for the standard lapping, and unfortunately Michael spun it. Pekka, oh no. That's another one.
Yeah, another drive through. So coming unraveling for some people, but look at that gap, 25 seconds to Number. That's what Gabor gained on his last few laps before coming into the pit lane. That's an absolutely enormous amount of time.
Yeah, I can't recall anything that crushing in a long time with the overlap, I suppose. The overcut, yeah, that's the better word. An extraordinary performance gain there, staying out longer. And numbers just not having a good time here. He's got to just keep going, and Nando Alonso has made his stop.
There's a second stop for him. So let's do the rundown. Reset it. Gabor in the lead with one stop under his belt now. He's only planning one stop, but he has an absolutely enormous lead over Fatal, who's in P2 now. Number in P3. Kig in the pit lane.
Oh, kick speeds.
Oh, goodness me. Everybody. They cannot get the car down to the pit lane speed limit. So many cars suffering with penalties here.
Like how many drives we have today? Like
yeah,
5?
More than that, I think. Every 5 seconds we're saying someone's speeding in the pit lane, but Kig, another one. Unbelievable.
He knows that's his potential top 6 or 7 pretty much down the drain, I'm afraid.
Oh, he
There's
doesn't
no
have
way
to
back
worry
from
about it. Everybody's got a penalty, Owen.
I know, yeah, but I suppose
he just felt left out.
Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely incandescent himself. It was really upsetting for that. He was doing so well.
Well, as we take a bit of a breather here, so it's now Luca now in P4 on aggregate. Then we've got Rony just behind him in P5. Rick Cardle is next to his teammate a minute down from Gabor now. Here is Unite in P7 just behind him. That's now for position. So those two are fair game for each other. P8 is Thamuli, who was the backstop essentially for the rest of the field against the charge of the Sidus drivers, but he's now on his own, trying to pick up the pieces on this race. Kig has a drive-through to serve, and then Pablo, who hasn't really managed to recover all that well after his first lap incident, is currently your 10th place runner.
Yeah, Kig decides to make or pay his penalty straight away. He's gonna lap Michael, who is pitting anyway. Lots of repair work needed on that BF1, I'm afraid.
Zesty has decided to leave the race from a good position, so we are now down to just 17 cars as Kig rejoins, and Chris noted that he barely got the car down to the pit lane speed limit before.
And Koivunen decides enough is enough as well. That's a real pity for him. He was just beset by those penalties, I'm afraid.
He was way down. It's not the sort of position that Pekka is used to being in, and to be honest, when you're having trouble and you nurse a car back to pit lane, and then have to tiptoe round, it's not much fun. So here we go. Nando Alonso in the slipstream of Team Eoin.
I think a clash of styles here. Timu is one of the gentleman drivers, and you see another example of it before I could even complete my sentence.
Yeah, you basically teed that up perfectly.
Rony in P5 will be coming up to Naloy Luca for position here. This could be very fascinating here. It's about a second between these two. That's another case of the drivers going underneath the spotlight, just getting on with the job. Timu was definitely conceded his position on the track. He's pulled over significantly before the hairpin right. And Nando Alonso will have gained probably about 6 or 7 seconds just on that one action alone. Nearly 10 seconds in that sector. So we'll see if Naloy Luca is aware of what's coming behind him. But now Unite and Rick, the teammates, they'll be going side by side down the start finish.
Yeah, we love to see it, these two going wheel to wheel. Unite has bailed out of that one. He's going to have another go. He's going to go to the outside as we go over start-finish line now. And the move is made. Unite back ahead. He didn't think he had the space. He left Rick space on the inside. But there we go. Pig and Pablo have switched positions. Pablo managed to get through. Just caught the tail end of that overtake as Kig gets a nice power slide out of the final corner and loses more time. As Pablo goes in the pits.
Yeah,
Manages
so
to get
Pablo
it,
has to
slowed
do
down.
here. It'll be another refuel, I'd imagine.
Yes, he pitted quite early. And he missed his first pit box there, but finds a pit box eventually. Damage and fuel going in that car. Gabor is on an absolute mission here. 27 seconds ahead of number, 22 seconds ahead of Fatal. Fastest lap, absolute domination so far with 22 laps to go after this one. And I have a feeling, let me know if you think this as well, but with the looks of the pace, it looks like number might be able to catch up to Fatal or the end. As the car goes into the wall very hard behind number there.
I think this lap is going more to plan for Fatal, though. Yeah, if it was a case of absolute best potential, no, I wouldn't be in agreement with you, Pete, there, but it's just, I suppose, Fatal will be a bit conservative, just wants to get the points on the board and crown himself as the new champion of RT4XL. But yeah, Number has less to lose. He'd love to get back that P2 and make sure he gets as many points as he can possibly get for today's race. But the battle, I think, is worth watching. Is definitely the one we have right now for you. It's Rony chasing down Naloy Luca, and then behind them the Sidus cars of Unite and Rick will be very closely contested as well. So yeah, lots of potential for these four cars, that's for sure.
Yeah, that green car of Rony is not growing too large just yet, but one mistake from either of these drivers and this gap will change a lot. There we go. Rony catching up a lot in the braking zone there. And let's see if a move is going to be on.
So Gabor puts the Muley a lap down, and as a matter of fact, Leandro has gained his lap back on Number. That's a turn up for the books there. Number slowing down a little bit. I can't explain what happened. Pablo out of the race.
Yeah, it was a rotten one for him. We couldn't really recover, so Pablo, unfortunately, out. Rony now trying to size up Nalaluka. Didn't have a good last part of the infield. Now that we're onto the straights, let's see if he can get a slipstream out of the final corner. Really important braking zone, really important that you don't slide the rears, as Rony does, onto this straight. And you need to be tucked up underneath the gearbox of the car in front. He's not managed it, so he'll have to try and regroup and find that time somewhere else. Or risk being caught himself by Unite and Rick Cardle. This is going to be a spicy battle. It's going to be a four-way fight very, very soon. This.
Yeah, so after Leandro briefly flirted with being ahead of Number on the track, he's unfortunately had a bad lap, and he's lost all that progress, allowing Number to carry on as normal. Yeah, this is the big pressure hoisted upon Naloy Luca. He's doing well so far, but he knows it's not just the threat of Rony in the bright green machine. He's also got Unite bearing down on him as well. Leandro with a third unscheduled stop at this stage. He would have wanted the two at most, but unfortunately he's felt the need to repair, and he's going to be put a further lap down. These 4 cars will all overtake him. Yeah, so damage on the body and a refuel there. Got a lovely overhead shot, seeing Rony getting through turn 1 and on board with Unite for turn 2. Nothing to separate these cars. They're all very equal on this lap so far. Very early days, of course.
Yeah, Nana Luca is going to be a cork in a bottle very, very soon. Though Unite is hassling Rony quite hard. Same can't be said for Rony on Nana Luca right now. So maybe it's Rony that's the cork for now.
Interesting to see how this battle ends up when Rony is so close to Nana Luca. But then again, the Sidus guys are going much faster behind them, and they're joining the battle.
Yeah, Rick has the benefit of being the furthest back, so he can sit back and then put the power down as and when he wants to. So he'll most likely have the best lap of these 4. Nana Luca is still reasonably clear. Yeah, but the slipstream not enough for Rony there. And yeah, Nana Luca does have to compromise his lines a little bit, knowing what's in store. Whereas Rick, at the tail of the queue, he can do what he wants until he gets behind Unite's gearbox.
Indeed. Well, Rony's now right behind Nana Luca's gearbox, but at the worst possible time. There's a lot of slipstream, but a lot of also downforce loss, aero loss, as they go through this long, ever-accelerating left-hander and the hill into the braking zone. Rony taking a bit of an interesting line, trying to make sure he can carry as much speed through this chicane section and onto the back straight, but a bit of a slide from Rony, and he's going to be a sitting duck for Unite, possibly even Rick Cardle. Oh, goodness me.
Unite. He's weaving all over the place here. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, he had to defend again from Rony, and you can see why, because Rony's basically hampering Unite's pace. Rick Cardle will now have the slipstream from anyone he wants, and we're going to have a 3-way fight here, possibly a 3-way between Unite, Rony, and Rick Cardle. Rony and Unite side by side across the line. Unite on the inside, and this should be job done. Rony hanging on for dear life here. But needs to get back across to defend from Rick Cardle. He does so. Rick goes for a send. It's a late send. And Rony hits the wall. That was late. But a good move ultimately, I think. Ambitious.
I think Rony got a bit spooked by the move there and went wide because of that.
Wow. So Rony went from potentially hounding Nana Luca for P4 and now finds himself down in P7. Brutal. But that's racing for you.
Indeed. Within all that commotion, we couldn't get in the word, as confirmed by our liaison Chris, that Gabor had a spin with his forgetfulness of traction control. So he's lost time to Fatal, but it's not anything too concerning. But if he does it again, that'll be the main worry.
Here he is. We'll spare you blushes and watch something else.
So we'll see if Gabor has normalised his lap times again. I'd imagine he has. Fatal just has to get as close or equal to Gabor. Yeah, Gabor with an ordinary lap time there, 1 minute 15. And Fatal should be also no minute 15s this time around.
Bit of an update on that old championship battle. As there are now only 15 cars remaining, Fatal need only finish this race and we can pretty much crown him the 2022 champion. Unite and Rick both having close encounters with the wall, and Nana Luca is hanging on. He is hanging on, but in every sense of the word hanging. I don't know how he's managing it, but Unite and Rick are making life difficult for themselves again. See, can they catch up to that Born to Race car and deny them that 4th place. We're running out of laps, Owen. This race isn't going on forever, so they need to hurry up. There are only 7 seconds separating Number and Fatal now, but that gap going up, not down. So the top 3 look pretty much set, unless Gabor decides to turn his traction control off again. We'll keep an eye on this for a bit.
Yeah, this is the place to be. It's really the case where Unite has to be the guiding light now. We saw what happened with Rony. Once he couldn't hang on to 5th any longer, it was the momentum shift that gave Rick Hardle that opening to make the move as well. So now if Unite, he's going to see Naloy Luca going high. And has to respond. But yeah, it's just the balancing act for Unite here. Whenever Naloy, couldn't see it from that camera angle. Yeah, he was getting very close to the wall with a slide that almost took him away from his power portion of the corner. He was able to catch it though, and Naloy Luca should be able to react to that and get a little bit further away. Rick wasn't close enough to threaten his teammate though.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by that. I thought Rick was right behind him, but clearly made an error himself. Rick might have been held up.
He was right behind, but he got right behind Unite in the middle of the corner, so he had to lift out, and he missed all the speed for the straight and left so far behind because of that.
Well spotted, Miika.
Yeah, this is really close. Now Luca have to take the most common racing line there. He can't hang it high this time with Unite closing in. We'll see if he makes better use of this exit coming up now. Yeah, you avoided the wall there that time, no problem. But this is the slipstream territory, guys. We'll see if Unite can pull on the outside and then cut back in for position. Yes, he just needs to consolidate it with the braking. Oh, Naloy Luca saw the opportunity to go side by side. It didn't work out, but thankfully Unite and Naloy Luca didn't tangle each other.
I love that he went for it. I absolutely love that he went for the return move. And look at this, he's not giving up. He's fighting to the death. This is what we want. Around the outside, no contact that time. And it looks like Unite will have this place if he can just get the car slowed down. The Born to Race car thinks about going for a move back, but ultimately Unite will hold on to that position. Great stuff from both cars there. A bit of an ambitious dive from Nalaluka, but I love to see it, honestly. That was great.
Rick loose just behind there, and Rony just the wrong kind of corner. That Rony had a bit more of a straight. Yeah, see Naloy Luca and Rick getting close, so it means that Rony has the opening. It's very distracting for Rick, as now he has to play the balancing act. Oh, Unite is going to get away for sure, though.
Yeah, Unite is free and gone. Rony checked up and almost half looped the car, trying to avoid the rear of Rick Cardle. Rick Cardle now with the advantage on Nalaluka in the slipstream. Which way is he going to go? Nalaluka defends. Rick Cardle to the outside. He is well ahead, but we saw Nalaluka go for a big dive. He didn't go for it on this occasion, and now Rick Cardle can readjust his sights to the rear of Unite. Or can he? Nalaluka might have a bit of a slipstream here. He does, in fact. He can have a go. He's going to try it around the outside. He has the overspeed. Oh, goodness me, again side by side, but the same overtake in the same corner. Will it be? Yes, it will. That is both sides cars through at turn 1 on consecutive laps on Nalaluka.
Just the replay of the last lap before, but just the car changed the side of the car. Different driver. Indeed. Yeah. Gabor is now right behind Rony. So while this battle has been going on, Gabor has just been taking time out of everybody again. And now he's on the scene. So Rony will have to move. Nalaluka will have to move.
And that could make that battle very interesting indeed. Rony's going to have to get out of the way in a very awkward position. Nice to stay in the fight with Nalaluka.
Yeah, he's going to hang on until this moment. Yeah, I believe the tires are starting to get a bit cold as they wear down. So that could explain, due to the pressure the drivers are putting on those tires, it may be time that they will not give optimum performance anymore. They're past their peak. So Rony does a good job there, letting the race leader by without conceding too much time.
Yeah, capitalising on slipstream here, yeah. Yeah, he can use Gabor to pull him around the lap and catch up to Nalaluka. And if he's clever about it, he could follow Gabor through. Let's see what happened. We saw Verstappen do this.
Michael in the wall there.
Oh,
he's out of the way.
Didn't even see him. The camera was panning that fast. But yeah, Michael Malik was in the wall at turn 3.
Yeah, I think he can just dust himself down and carry on to the finish at this stage. Can't really lose any more progress. Yeah, Gabor is not going to be yielded until the very last moment. Now Luca may have compromised his line. Yes, he has.
Oh, it's gone all wrong. It's gone all,
it's all gone
wrong. Oh, it's a puncture. So we've got our first tyre death with 11 laps to go. Possibly a flat spot puncture. Flat spots in LFS do breed flat spots. It's the way the tyre model works. If you get a flat spot, then the next time you lock up, the tyre tends to find the same patch again. So, just like real tyres, really. That is unfortunate for Nalaluka. He was doing so well, providing us with a lot of entertainment, but it's going to be a slow limp round now to the pit lane. Well, actually, he's going quite quickly, isn't he?
Yeah, 130 miles per hour on a broken and burst front left. Now he's going to be sped. Yeah, it's 100% speed.
Unbelievable.
Oh no.
He forgot to brake. Another penalty. Oh dear me.
I mean, if you have a puncture on your front wheel, then you might as well just brake a little early.
Well, yeah, exactly. Going 130 miles an hour into pit entry with a puncture is not a good move.
He's out of the race.
Predicted, he has retired, unfortunately.
Yeah, I hope he's within the classification distance. It was a really courageous go, and to not get any points for this effort, it will be a real shame.
He will be classified with points.
That's good.
But it will be points for 14th place, as we now have 13 runners left, and Gabor is catching up to his teammate. And this is a bit of a weird scenario, because these two were on the front row together in this race, and now Rick Cardle is looking to be lapped by his teammate. Rick Cardle will not want this to happen. He will push as hard as he can, even though he knows it's inevitable.
No, he has no other choice, I'm afraid, Pete.
Well, yeah, there we go.
That's a shame.
Ultimately doing the right thing, but that would have stung a little bit, I think.
Yeah, the dash of the ego, I'm sure. Getting lapped by your own teammate. That's certainly not a Sidus expectation, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's unlikely that in the time left, Fatal is going to do the same thing to Rick. The gap is just simply too large. 22 seconds is a heck of a deficit, and with now how many laps we've got to go? 9 laps to go, including this one. I don't think there's enough time for anyone else to get in the way of Rick Cardle. But yes, 3 seconds ahead is Unite, who himself is going to probably come up against Gabor. In fact, yes, you can see Gabor just in the background there, growing ever closer. Absolutely amazing pace from Gabor. Absolutely outclassing everybody at the moment. Another second taken out of Fatal as well. This is an absolute masterclass. In fact, we've got some time to burn. Let's go on board.
And Unite is ignoring the blue flags. A bit of defiant chat. So I'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, we can watch the master of South City long at work here. Gonna see how he takes this hairpin, for example. Oh, he has a little bit of a step out of the rears, but he caught it nicely. Oh, he hits the wall. That's got to be it now. This is getting into the inconvenience portion. Maybe Gabor is being sympathetic here. He just wants to back off and not contact his direct teammate, right, like that.
No idea what's going on, but ultimately now he is going to have no choice. Gabor is well in the slipstream. He's going to go to the inside. In fact, United's just given him that, hasn't he? Making it as easy as possible. And Gabor has now lapped everyone up to, everybody except the podium. Just the Fragmasters boys to go. But that is a tall order. They are a minute ahead of Gabor. Well, Gabor is on another level today, and no one can take this away from him except himself. 56 of 62 laps completed, and another second taken out of Fatal's attack. Impressive stuff. Michael Malik in the pit stop for his second stop. The ball complaining about tyres getting too cold. Reminder that in the current LFS tyre model, tyres lose all of their heat when they become too worn. The thinner rubber means that the tyre cannot retain its internal thermal energy. And as a result, it gets pretty slippy out there for the drivers. So Gabor will be struggling quite a lot, even though it doesn't appear to be phasing him that much in terms of lap time. Let's see. Well, it looks fine for now, but they can drop off a cliff very, very quickly. We still have a handful of laps to go. And not a trivial run to the finish for him, but he can afford to lose 26 seconds. I'm not shedding any tears over him at the moment.
I'm sure he'll be fine. But his ability to do those phenomenal 1 minute 14s will be compromised. He could definitely be satisfied with 1 minute 15s to the end. Now he's done a 1:14.94, so he's still got that intense pace within him, but it's just a case of getting it to the finish now.
Yeah, just the gap to Fatal is the telling thing. He's still able to pull out these ridiculously quick lap times. But we will see. He is having a dice with the walls as well. He's leaving some of his rubber on the Armco on his journey. Again, touching the wall there. But ultimately, he doesn't care, does he? He's just having fun. Absolute masterclass. United's car is looking pretty worse for wear, isn't it? Especially that front end. Gabor weaving in a straight line to try and keep any temperature in his tyres. Let's see if he does it again here. Nope, just straight through.
Yeah, and that interval table tells a big story, because at the minute there are no direct rivals beside each other on the track. The closest gap there, it's Rick, who is trying to chase Unite, and then Rony in 6th place. That's as close as we're going to get for the moment. Poor old Michael there, a lap behind everybody. So it must really give him a bit of a sting.
Well, finishing this race is as much of an accomplishment as getting a podium. Lots of attrition as Gabor puts another lap on Jari Katila, or almost.
Oh.
Jari, unbelievable.
Jari does have to use reverse. He couldn't make that turn in time. He notices more cars coming, so good job recovering that mistake.
Yeah, in the meantime, while Yari's still at the hairpin, Gabor's almost at the last corner. Absolutely unbelievable pace. Numbers had to go into the pits for fuel, so it's possible he pitted too early for his first stop, so that's cost him even more time. He didn't change tyres, so now they are super cool, ice cool tyres. But yeah, only 3 laps to go. It should be fine. But yeah, Number miscalculating the fuel somewhat. Oh, goodness me. Almost running into the wall. Maybe that is the tyre temperatures becoming an issue. Oh yeah, look at this. He's absolutely skating around. Those tyres, while he's been sat still, have absolutely hit sub-zero. And Zdravko now having a lot of trouble with his car. Note that the problem is you can't put heat back in those tyres very easily, not in a sustainable way anyway, so that's pretty much all she wrote on that. And they're also very thin, so potentially we could see a couple more blowouts as Fatal goes for a bit of a drift through the bus stop.
Here's a chance for on-track action, everyone. Unite has seen his lead over Rick shrink to 0.2 of a second. I think that's a good exit out of the final hairpin, and that will protect him from an immediate slipstream. Yeah, so that was certainly very eye-opening to see him gain 0.3 in that final sector. That's in reality just 2 corners. And then the braking zone into turn 2 should be more comfortable for Rick here. He seems to have more composure around this portion of the track. He has the car going where he wants it to, whereas Unite, with that damage, you can see how understeer it is through the bus stop. Has to be really careful.
Does indeed. They've been so close all race long, really. But now it's this man, Rick Cardle, who is trying to catch up to the back of Unite. He's almost there. Let us drift. A lot of drivers do that to get the car rotated and get a good exit up the hill. And now, will he have an attempt? Well, still quite a distance from the slipstream. It's not going to be enough, is it, for this hairpin?
No, but this is closer. When you think about a lap ago, this is about 0.4 of a second. It's not close enough. Yeah, well, nearly half. So rounding up and down, that's a little bit.
1 lap to go only for these guys. Gabor and Co are now on the final lap as Gabor completes the first sector, and just 2 to go. What a dominant run he's had here. 25.1 second lead. 25.2 second lead now over Fatal.
A very solid run from Gabor. It's like no one else.
Yeah, absolutely. And a last-ditch attempt then between the remaining 2 Sidus cars. Rick Cardle desperately needs a good exit out of the final corner now, because that was not a good approach to there. But Owen, take it away to the finish.
And an absolutely stupendous performance from Sidus Gabor. He will now take the celebrations across the line, 1 hour 18 minutes, and we'll be waiting another 30 seconds or so for the runner-up here, Fragmaster Fatal, who is closing in on the championship.
Yeah, I think we can write it. Just a couple of 100 meters to go, and we will be crowning Fragmaster's Fatal as our 2022 RTFR XL champion. Congrats to him, and congrats to Fragmaster, of course. Good effort. all season long from
magnificent
him.
effort all year
Yeah.
long, and it's culminated in this title win, and that'll hopefully delight Fatal and the Fragmaster team. They've been very, very reliable this year, and the rewards have come one race early, so that'll definitely, that'll mean a lot to them, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 cars to go, and then we're going to get our finishing order update because there are so many lapped cars. And there we go across the line. Number, the final car. And that gives us our results, Owen.
Yeah, that was a high attrition rate. Yeah, we can see 13 cars are classified. But let's begin with the race winner once more, Sidus Gabor. Wonderful performance there. That overcut is one of the best you're ever likely to see, having had little advantage over number and then absolutely stomping an advantage to the rest of the grid there.
We'll have a 25-second gap after his stop.
We'll have to study that in more depth after the race. But yeah, let's see our champion in second place, who's doing celebratory donuts just off camera there. That's Fragmaster Fatal. In third place, it's the other Fragmaster runner. Number, unfortunately, those donuts have just stopped. Must have been burning his clutch or something. Anyway, the rest of the top 10, Sidus Unite, Sidus Rick Hardle, Race Greens Rony, The Mooley for ZFRL, Master Race Cars Kig, Yara Loco, and Leandro 911. Then the remaining finishers are Timu Soini, Yarik Tilla, their World Class Lions teammates, and then Master Race Cars Michael. Unfortunately, we saw DNFs for everyone from 14 down, and they are Naloy Luca, Nando Alonso, Pablo, Zesty, Koivunen, Regs, and Lalaru. Regs is the last driver eligible for points, and unfortunately these cars, Lorenzo, Antonio, T-Bug, and Owner, they made it very little into the race. They were gone within the first 10 laps or so, I'm afraid.
Thank you very much, Owen, for that. And fastest lap honours go to Gabor. And just to give you some reference about what that means, let's have a quick look at the qualifying table that we showed over an hour and a half ago. Super close to some of the times on here. So absolutely unreal pace from Gabor during the race. Those were the qualifying times. Further extending congratulations to him, but also to Fatal, of course. A great run this year, and we'll have to keep an eye on him in the final and just see how big that points gap to Ricciardo and Co can be in the end.
Yeah, I suppose the next race be a free hit depending what Gabor chooses the next combo. Hopefully makes it a very exciting one coming up in December. Could possibly be themed around the holiday season, Christmas, etc. So we'll see if there is anything up his sleeve. But we'll be certainly looking forward to that. And we'll see who finishes second, third, fourth, and fifth in the championship. That'll still be up for grabs.
Coming up on the channel this week, we have the next round of the Fragmasters GTI Thursday happening on Thursday. I nearly forgot which day it was. And that's going to be at South City Long again. So if you fancy watching some GTI action at SO4, please tune into the channel on Thursday for the Fragmasters GTI Thursday series. And then we're all very much looking forward to this next weekend. We are going to be having the return of endurance racing to the channel, and indeed LFS. Sim Broadcasts are sponsoring and presenting the 6 Hours of Aston by Argentina Turismo on Sunday, November 13th at midday, and there is still time to get your teams in. We will play the trailer again at the end of the show, but Owen, you did a great job leading tonight, and let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Pete. Thanks very much. And let's carry on with the trailer.
Owen wants me to play the trailer now, so we're going to play the trailer now. Sit back and enjoy.
And welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that viewing of the trailer. A little bit hasty on my part. Yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed the broadcast this evening. And we'd love if you took a moment to subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and possibly any other shout out that you possibly can. Yeah, it's been great that the viewership was really strong tonight. And for our team, Peter Butcher, Miika Sarkinen, and Chris McElroy, I hope you all enjoyed that. So any final thoughts before we sign off?
I guess, yeah, Miika, you go first.
Yeah, I was just saying nothing really for me. What a race. It's exciting. A lot of stuff happened, at least in the very start. And, well, in the pits as well. But yeah, it was a good race. Fun to watch.
And yourself,
Pete? The pit lane, absolutely. The pit lane had a great time tonight, giving penalties to everybody. We'll have to count how many penalties there were, Owen, in that one, and I'm sure there'll be. Rony will make a note of it for the history books. He likes to keep a record of stats, but that was a lot of drive-through penalties in that one. I'll just echo what I said before. Congrats to Fatal. He is our season champion. Very well deserved. Had a super season. One to go, and he can kind of breathe a sigh of relief and just enjoy the next round. The next round combo will be chosen by Gabor. He was the winner here, so he gets to choose the next combo. Of course, yeah, congrats to him. Congrats to Fatal. That's my son.
Yeah, beautiful summary, Pete. Thank you very much. And with that, it's time to sign off for this evening. We really appreciate your time and hope to see you again very soon. Goodbye now.
Good night.
Good night.